Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are analyzing a really crucial shift that's happening across any organization managing a workforce out in the field.
Right, specifically in field service.
Exactly. We're diving into a major white paper that calls 2026 a pivotal year, not just for, growth, but for organizational resilience itself.
It truly is a moment of convergence, and it's creating this unprecedented pressure.
How so?
Well, you have rising workloads, from more connected devices and more service contracts, but at the same time, technician availability is more volatile than ever.
The hiring challenges and the skills gap.
Precisely. And on top of all that, technology is accelerating, forcing organizations to adopt new platforms just to stay in the game.
So all these forces are creating a new operational reality. The challenge for leaders isn't just about being efficient when things are calm anymore.
No, not at all.
It's about making faster decisions, having tighter coordination, and ultimately ensuring stable, high-quality performance from teams that are always under pressure.
And this is forcing the emergence of what the paper calls the defining capability, operational agility.
Okay.
This idea goes way beyond just being fast or flexible. Agility is the engineered structure that lets an organization succeed and stay stable in a really complex environment. It's what keeps you in control when things shift without warning.
So if the definition is stability through flexibility, what does that actually look like on the ground? Let's unpack that.
That's a great starting point. Operational agility is really the organization's ability to adjust plans, workloads, and priorities in real time, all while maintaining service quality.
Okay, so think about the old ways. The whiteboards, the spreadsheets.
The disconnected radio calls, they're all fundamentally static. So when a technician calls in sick or traffic just grinds everything to a halt, the entire day's plan just collapses. It requires a massive manual rebuild.
Which means errors, delays, and really frustrated customers.
Exactly. Agility, which is enabled by modern field service management, or FSM, it treats variability as the norm, not the exception. It's a disciplined approach to managing it.
So if a technician is delayed,
If a technician is unexpectedly delayed, the system doesn't just crash. It automatically recalculates the options based on their skill, their location, the urgency of the next job, and it suggests the best reallocation instantly.
it lets the office team shift capacity without that cascading failure across the whole day.
Yes. And what I found so valuable in the sources is that this isn't some, abstract goal. Agility is observable. You can measure it.
In tangible ways.
Absolutely. You can see it in hard numbers, like how quickly dispatchers can rebalance schedules after a major disruption. You can measure it in the reduction of SLA penalties.
This is where full agreements on it.
Because the system is alerting you to risks before they become breaches. And crucially, you can measure it in how smoothly any technician, new or experienced, completes a complex job because they have all the info they need right there in their hand.
That sounds like a world away from the current reality for a lot of organizations, which that brings us to what the paper calls the agility gap.
The gap is structural. It exists because traditional operating models, which still dominate in a lot of places, just can't absorb the current demands.
So think of a traditional Monday morning dispatch meeting.
Right. They're relying on paper forms, phone calls for status updates, data that's stuck in siloed spreadsheets, and this totally disconnected communication between the office, the field, and the warehouse.
And the moment the first variable hits, a critical part is delayed, a tech is running late, an emergency customer calls, the whole plan just evaporates.
Precisely. Those legacy methods create friction and information asymmetry. It slows the entire service cycle down. And as job volumes and complexity rise, these old ways become bottlenecks. They make it impossible to adapt.
That systemic difficulty leads us right into the interconnected trends from the white paper. This is where it gets really interesting, connecting market pressure to operational necessity.
And these 6 trends aren't isolated, they reinforce each other. They demand leaders design completely different, more adaptive workflows.
Okay, let's start with trend 1, predictive automation. This isn't just about sending an automatic email. This is the engine that drives adaptability.
Correct. We're now in a phase where AI and machine learning are actively shaping how work is planned and executed. The FSM system has to ingest not just the schedule, but historical data on job duration, technician performance, travel times.
And even external data, like real-time traffic or weather, through APIs.
Yes. So The system knows, based on thousands of similar jobs, that the current job is, say, 85% likely to overrun by 20 minutes.
That's incredible.
That intelligence allows for truly dynamic scheduling. We're talking about assigning the right technician based on skill certification, availability, not just location. It enables routing that adjusts automatically to traffic and trigger-based workflows like customer updates that run without any human intervention.
And all of that predictive capability relies heavily on Trend 2, real-time visibility. The paper calls it the core decision layer.
It has to be. Field service is a live environment. Things change minute by minute. If you don't have perfect visibility, you're just guessing. You're relying on assumptions.
Which slows you down and raises risk.
Exactly. Real-time visibility provides that shared, single source of truth. It connects dispatch, the field teams, and the back office instantly.
So we're talking about live job progress updates, accurate technician availability, and critical checks like inventory readiness.
Making sure the part is actually there before the technician drives out.
Right. And proactive SLA monitoring that spots risks. It just eliminates the guesswork.
And what's fascinating is how that dovetails right into Trend 3, workforce pressures. Organizations are managing this blended workforce. You have experienced veterans alongside newer staff, while the jobs themselves are getting more complex.
But we've always managed veterans and new staff.
Yeah.
What's fundamentally different now that demands this kind of structural support?
It's the velocity and the compliance. The speed at which new staff have to become effective, plus the complexity of the equipment, means you can't just rely on tribal knowledge anymore. It's too big a risk.
So the workflow itself has to provide the support.
Yes. Crystal clear, mobile accessible job information, step-by-step digital checklists, guided forms that reduce ambiguity, especially for compliance reporting.
Standardized workflows.
They're critical. They reduce variability no matter who the technician is. That consistency lowers the cognitive load, it stabilizes quality, and it's absolutely necessary for automation to even work.
Okay, moving to Trend 4, we hit the consumer side. Rising customer expectations, tighter arrival windows, proactive communication.
Precision is the watchword. Customers expect instant booking confirmations, a notification when the tech is 20 minutes out, transparent updates. Agility is what delivers that smooth, predictable journey.
If your operation is inconsistent, the customer experience is inconsistent.
And you lose loyalty. Which brings us to Trend 5, which is often overlooked, but it's the literal backbone of all this: integration and connected systems.
This is non-negotiable for 2026.
Absolutely. If you have silos where your CRM, your FSM, your billing, your inventory, if they don't talk to each other, you're creating data friction. You're manually copying data, which leads to errors and huge slowdowns.
And it makes real-time adaptation basically impossible.
Exactly. Strong integration means data flows automatically. Job creation from the CRM, field updates flowing to the back office, accurate invoicing. It all has to be seamless.
Finally, Trend 6 frames sustainability as an efficiency lever. This isn't just a corporate goal anymore.
No, it's a practical operational strategy. Sustainable practices directly align with efficiency and profitability. The same tools that drive agility, like optimized routing, also cut travel time and fuel use.
So it lowers costs and your carbon footprint.
And predictive maintenance reduces unnecessary site visits. Digital documentation replaces paper. It's efficiency from the inside out.
That's compelling. So we've set the stage. Now, how do leaders actually build this resiliency? The paper says agility is built on 4 core pillars.
Right. These pillars provide the stability you need under pressure. Pillar 1 is insight.
The visibility we talked about.
It's the prerequisite for control. Knowing where every tech is, the status of every job, SLA risk, inventory. Insight creates situational awareness.
Then pillar 2 is coordination. Once you have the insight, you need alignment.
Exactly. It's ensuring teams, systems, and workflows are structured and communicating. Strong coordination is the disciplined execution that stops things from falling apart.
Pillar 3 is responsiveness. How effectively you adjust when things change.
And this leans heavily on automation. Real-time alerts, flexible scheduling tools. It lets you absorb disruptions instead of being destabilized by them.
And the foundation for all of it, pillar 4, is consistency.
This is everything. Workflows, checklists, procedures all have to follow repeatable, standardized patterns. Consistency is what allows automation to function reliably.
So if you connect these 4,
They create what the paper calls the agility flywheel. Insight informs better decisions, coordination executes them, responsiveness adjusts to variables, and consistency reinforces the whole process.
so agility starts to compound, making the whole service lifecycle more stable.
Yes, that's the goal.
That compounding effect is powerful, but you can't just flip a switch. So how should leaders approach this? What's the roadmap?
The roadmap really emphasizes moving step by step. And the most critical directive is step 2. Strengthen your core workflows before you automate.
Right. Avoiding that trap of automating the mess.
Precisely. Automation only delivers ROI when the underlying process is stable and repeatable. So first, you have to standardize job types, define consistent digital checklists, and align your procedures.
Get rid of the variation that causes errors and bad data.
Yes. Once that foundation is strong, then you can move to step 3, high-impact automation. And this has to be strategic. Focus on reducing repetitive tasks and bottlenecks that burn time.
Like predictive scheduling or automated customer notifications.
Right. It frees up your dispatchers and technicians to focus on complex execution and, customer relationships.
And steps 4 and 5 just reinforce that foundation. Build visibility and connect your systems.
You need to centralize scheduling in a single shared system.
Yeah.
And you must connect your core systems syncing CRM data into job creation, flowing field updates back to billing. It eliminates all that manual reentry.
Okay, next up is step 6, which seems crucial given the workforce volatility we talked about, accelerating technician enablement.
This is vital. You have to stabilize the performance of that blended workforce. Provide clear, mobile, accessible job info, digital checklists that guide them, and simplify documentation.
It reduces those calls back to the office, boosts first-time fix rates.
And helps new staff work with confidence. And finally, step 8 is about fostering a culture of continuous adaptation. Agility isn't a project, it's a practice.
So it only sticks if it's embedded in the culture.
Exactly. Leaders have to institutionalize feedback loops, hold recurring reviews to refine workflows, encourage field teams to share what they're learning, and update your procedures regularly. That's what makes it a lasting capability.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener, looking toward 2026?
I think the key takeaway is that this high-velocity, complex landscape requires one non-negotiable capability: operational agility.
That's right.
That ability to adapt with structure and precision is the fundamental requirement for stability and success.
And modern FSM platforms are the tools that enable that journey. They provide the visibility, the automation, and the structure you need to move from being reactive and chaotic to proactive and predictable.
So we've established that agility relies heavily on all these connected systems: CRM, FSM, billing, inventory, all syncing huge amounts of data in real time to create this single, unified operation.
If a resilient operation is built on flawless real-time integration, what new critical vulnerability gets introduced when one part of that system slows down, fails, or sends conflicting data? What level of human oversight will always be required to validate the shared truth that these highly integrated automated systems create? Something to mull over as you build your roadmap.